let's go through three things that you normally uncover, say the top three, or even just three that come to mind for builders that they're doing wrong.
The first one, and you'll love this, is numbers.
Yes.
Business is a numbers game. Numbers is the language of business, and it tells us what's working well, what's not working, and where should we focus. So typically they don't have a budget. The chart of accounts isn't set up correctly, so their cost code categories aren't in the correct orders. They don't have an accurate gauge on what is their gross margin, what are their overheads. I think that's partly from laziness from a lot of accountants not setting it up properly for them. So they don't get a true gross margin, so they don't know how to price their jobs to the right gross margin to be able to make the desired profit and to cover all their overheads each month. So that's the first one, is numbers.
Nice. Okay.
You'd be down with that?
Yeah,
well,
before we get to number two.
Yeah, you can speak on that.
Well, I just think that there's so much in there, right? Even when you start to, that's taking you maybe a minute to unpack, but when you say like don't know how to price, there could be a month's work for somebody to correct the way that they're running their business, right? And before we get into 2 and 3, do you end up seeing mindset or this thing up here being a thing that blocks them? So you could unpack that you don't know how to price, but your brain could tell you, you can't charge that for that.
Absolutely.
So is mindset or the brain, is it 2 or 3, or is it just like an overarching thing that can get in the way of all of these things?
It's an overarching thing. So in order to change, first you have to have a desire to change, then you have to have a clear vision of it is possible, what are the next steps that I should do? And then if you can have someone guide you through that, these are the steps. Here's a case study of, or 50 case studies of people who've changed their pricing process. Here's how to price a job quickly and accurately to the right target margin. Here's how to control your margin going in. Here's how to control your margin during the job. And here's how to improve your margin after the job. Then you can apply the levers that you feel most confident to. And if you've got a coach who can help you implement that one-on-one, who's going to give you the confidence, say, look, Luke, what do you want to do out of these 9 margin levers? Which ones are you already doing and which ones do you want to work on?
So someone like David from Rapid QS, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that the market is getting him to solve the problem of capacity? Or do you think a lot of these people are going, shit, I want to see how these people price a job compared to how I would price it? Mm-hmm. And that's what they're leaning on Rapid QS for?
Absolutely. D, all of the above.
Yeah.
So I think people are outsourcing their pricing to companies like Rapid QS. For one, it takes them too long to price a job. 2, they might not win a job, so it's kind of like a sunk cost that they haven't recovered. 3, they're not 100% certain. Are they doing it right? Are they factoring in everything for P&G, overhead recovery margin, travel, and then their desired net margin at the end of the job? And then 4, do they have their labour recipes right in terms of number of hours per part of the project that they're doing? So, and then lastly, they might have way too many projects to price stacking up on their desk that they're just not getting to. It's like, holy, I've got 7 and we've just had another 3 leads come in this week. I've got 10 and I haven't even got to the 2 that are sitting right in front of me that are plum jobs. And if you don't get back to those people within the next, 3 weeks or so, then there's a good chance that you're going to lose them and someone else will price the project and potentially get that job.
All right, so into 2 and 3 then, what would number 2 be?
So in terms of doing things wrong, the first thing is numbers.
Yeah.
The next thing is sales and marketing. So not having a consistent way and a predictable way to attract the right kind of work.
And that's probably applicable to, 1 and 2 are, but I specifically see number 2 for so many Kiwi business owners where they don't know where their next job is going to come from.
Yeah.
So therefore they price poorly based on the fact that they don't know if they're going to get a job that they do want to do.
Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Like, quite often they rely on word of mouth. And so word of mouth isn't a strategy, it's like hope marketing. I hope that someone turns up in the next couple of weeks and drops a job into my lap, or I get a referral. And they get in this roller coaster of do the work. Oh, we've only got 8 weeks worth of work left. get the work, and then they run around, talk to people, and try and put themselves out there to get that work. And so you get into this feast and famine roller coaster. And if you don't have that strong pipeline of 12 to 18 months of profitable work booked out, then quite often you might have to compete on price to win a job just to keep you guys busy.
And then we're going to bugger up GP, overheads, net profit ratios, and price poorly. And then
100%.
Pissed off when we spend a whole year doing a dud of a job that doesn't get us closer to our goals.
100%. Like we had a guy who was doing $11 million who came to us a few years ago from the North Shore and was sitting at 11% gross margin. And I'm like, dude, you're in deep shit here. And he's like, I know. And we couldn't help him fix it. Like, didn't come on board because he actually went under in the next 3 weeks. But that had come from a systemic mindset and lack of process of pricing to a desired target margin, relying upon volume, and not having a process in place to get the right kind of leads, a good process to convert them, and stick to his guns on the kind of work that he would take on at what margin that was right for his team, that really suited him to achieve his goals.
And that's probably why we see so many liquidations and they over index in the in the construction space, right?
Yeah.
Because perception would be, oh, they're doing these jobs, oh, they're doing over 10 mil, oh, they're killing it. But your brain and mine go straight to what's the GP on this? And even someone would go, well, surely then they're making, like 1.2 million on that. And well, that ain't enough margin. That's going to break eventually.
Yeah, like turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Profit is what you pay yourself, pay your family, pay your mortgage, pay everything with. And the number one predictor of success in your building company is your gross margin.
Nice. You probably can't say that aloud enough, eh? Like we're always trying to ram that home to business owners, and I don't think they get it. Because the way I explain it to tradies, and you would have more experience than I in the space, but I don't care what your projects are worth and your revenue, because when you've got 10 mil of that, but 9.5 mil of costs and whatnot, and running up bills to placemakers and subcontractors and shit, I'm like, you're turning over 500 grand, man. 10
exactly.
million. Why are you telling me about your 10 million? But I think it's a little bit of an ego thing of like, oh, okay, we're doing these big projects and whatnot. I'm like, show me the GP. Show
100%.
me what's left.
And the fear of changing is anything, well, I've grown a bigger beast. I've got 23 mouths or 80 or 150 mouths to feed. I need the work to keep coming in. Like, I had a cleaning company and I grew New Zealand's largest private cleaning company called Life Made Easy, and our running and almost went bankrupt. It was the most stressful 5 years of my life, and it was an absolute disaster. The number one caveat or principle out of that is you should not scale a low margin business. You can't scale lack of profits, and you can't scale lack of systems, because you'll just run faster on the hamster wheel.